So we've been playing Gran Turismo 7 on the PlayStation, obviously. Uh, and
Yeah, we was checking it out, seeing what's new on it,
yeah,
trying it out. We ain't played one in a couple generations, right?
yeah, this is my first Gran Turismo since Gran Turismo 2.
Wow, too. Yeah, I played 3 and 4,
Yeah,
but they messed up. They got weird around 5, and they tried to do the little spin-offs crap.
yeah.
And this didn't work for me.
So we started playing this one. I've already beat the single player part of it in March when it came out. So we're starting again 8 months after it came out because it's his first time playing it.
Checked it out.
And so we played it for about 12 hours yesterday. We got about 600 miles of racing in. And, because we spent a lot of time configuring the car and tuning the car. We aren't any kind of crazy tuners, which brings me to our first issue with the game. We're going to talk about some issues. We're going to talk about what we like. We're going to compare it a little bit to Forza Horizon, even though it's kind of a Forza Motorsport is more so the comparison, but that ain't out yet. So the first thing I didn't like was that I can't on Forza Horizon 5 you can quickly and easily get someone else's tune if you aren't a tuner. I'm not a tuner. I don't know how to tune these cars. I can try a little bit, I can make a little bit of things, but I can't get it good enough to win a race that's difficult. So that's the first issue I dislike about the game is I can't grab someone else's tune. I got to go on a forum or a website and take someone's tune for that specific race and sit there and make every change that they've made and copy their build one, part at a time. And that annoys me because I'm not a big fan of having to tune a car. What do you think about? I mean, you agree or what?
Yeah. I agree with it that it should be a better way of system. The user interface on a lot of the game is unnecessarily bogged down, and it's the same way with even the painting the car.
Yeah,
when you sharing the paint jobs and the just to go even look at somebody's in the cockpit, it was like a 10-step, 15-step process that you had to leave the paint section of the game.
You go to the livery editor where you're gonna make your own, or you should be able to get someone else's, and you can't do that. That's only the spot to make your own or grab your collection that you went to the showcase.
You have to leave the paint shop and go to a showroom.
Yeah, you got to go to a separate menu to look at other people's liveries and grab what they've edited and
even then it's not clear. You have to click through a couple menu search something random, like what am I searching for? It's so vague. Yeah. It's not even
when comparing it to Forza, dude, man, Forza is just miles better. I love the way it works much more when compared to Gran Turismo 7. So yeah, you go to the showcase, you can search at least they have it where you can search the car that you're in. And I like that because I thought I was going to have to find the make, the model, and then pick which one.
They got the tiny check mark that should have been done by default.
Yeah. So that should be done in the livery editor already. So you go and select the thing, you grab what you want, and then you leave that area, come back to the livery editor, look at your collection that you've liked, and then you can set that as your car, as your library or whatever.
Yeah, you had to bookmark it first.
Yeah.
Which is the dumbest thing about it.
That seems
like you should have, as soon as you found it and you said I liked it, you should be able to click it and directly apply it to the car.
So I think that the way that UI part works, how it's in different spots, is silly. It's all in one spot in Forza. All in one spot.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
And
it's clean and clear.
Yeah, it's just better.
I would say the user interface, like how they even applied it, like in Forza, normally open world hubs I don't care for.
Yeah.
But the hub for Forza made it better because you felt centralized when you was in the car.
Yeah.
Everything had to do with the car. It was a focus.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo doesn't have focus. Even the older games had focus.
Yeah. And then as far as getting through the single player part of it, I enjoyed that. That was fun. I felt it was quite a bit short. I did it all in 5 days. It took me 5 days. I don't really remember how long I played each day, but
wasn't serious at that time.
Yeah, probably 3-4 hours a day, maybe something like that. And I finished all the single player, and I got all my licenses. I didn't gold all the licenses, but we went back and I golded the first license, and then we went back and golded A, And, you know, I got a couple golds here and there, but I didn't, you know, I bronzed the large portion of the licenses. You know, just, and I understand that's part of the game is going through and golding all of them, but how quickly I was able to finish that single player part, I thought was a little sad because I spent a couple hundred hours on Forza Horizon 5. I mean, it was always something to do in there. Everywhere I went, something to do, something to do, something to do here. It's just, I think the single player is lacking. I think they need more races. And, you know, Forza, there's tons of races. The multiplayer part of Gran Turismo 7, we didn't spend a lot of time on that. Another issue we got is the used cars. So how the used cars work, we played for 8 to 10 hours.
Yeah.
You know, we were trying to knock out a lot, right? And then we had challenges that required certain cars. You know, it's got in the menu, it's got the extra menus where you want the collections. So we had several challenges we wanted to get through, but those cars can only be bought in the used car section, and the used car section only updates once a day. So I find that to be a problem if, you know, you got a friend over and y'all trying to go through a lot of the game, and you can't do it because the used car section don't update but once a day. So we'll have to wait possibly multiple days for the damn thing to update.
Even if it updates today, it don't even change unless one of the slots sells out.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Yeah. So if a lot of people ain't playing the game,
like day one release when everybody's playing, I'm sure the whole used store was refreshing every day.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, there was one new slot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so
it may be 2 weeks.
We eyed that used car section several times during the day. Nothing was changing. So we're like, okay, well, I guess we don't get to play that part of the game.
That literally stopped our progress on it.
Yeah. And then another issue we have is the cash. I think everybody has that issue. How money works in the game. So we played for 8 to 12 hours, and we had noticed that I went from down 1 million credits. I went down 1 million credits. Yeah, we bought a million credit car. We bought one of them Vision GTs for the Vision race, right?
Yeah.
And once we finished the Vision race, our reward was 500,000 credits. So basically, we got a 1 million credit car for 500,000. But throughout the day, we were still down $1 million.
And the 500 million wasn't even 500,000. Wasn't even guaranteed. It was just off of the little raffle ticket.
Yeah, we just got lucky off the 6-star.
Lucky off that, technically.
Yeah, which early on, that was a big problem with the game is those raffle tickets would always give you the worst gift. But now I think they've gotten slightly better, but not. They're still kind of garbage.
So, I mean, even with all that, you're steady losing big chunks of change on the game.
Yeah.
So it's the pay-to-win mechanic, like on Forza, the big thing
it's pay for convenience. Pay for convenience.
Pay for convenience.
Cause
that's hundreds of hours of grinding, though.
Yeah. I'm not that serious.
There's a reasonable grind, and then there's an unnecessary grind.
Yeah.
And that's unnecessary for a racing game. Nobody wants to play 300 hours, 400 hours into a racing game just to enjoy it.
There are some people they like that grind.
Some people love the grind. But I understand having the grind. But making the money the grind is not it.
Yeah.
Making the races, that's why you're racing. You're enjoying the racing.
Yeah.
That should be the grind.
Yeah. The amount of cars that they have, I think, is good.
Yeah.
But that
was the only checkbox, though.
Yeah. Basically, I have a lot of the cars that I want. I got the Vipers. I got a few other cars, you know. I was disappointed. You know, I like Tesla. I got my Model S, but it's a 2012 Model S. 2012 Model S is kind of slow compared to the Model S's now. They couldn't have put that in there. I mean, I understand that's a licensing issue or whatever with Tesla, but that annoyed the hell out of me. But the car selection I think is good. I still think Forza's better. Like after, I need to check how many hours I've spent. I'm gonna guess I've spent probably 60 hours playing the game. But I have 400 and something cars in Forza, because Forza just gives you the cars. Yeah. Now, there's an
overkill on it.
There's a line there where you don't got to do anything and you get all the cars, and Forza went past the line. It's too easy. But
I will say the last Forza made it too easy. The previous Forza was not that easy.
Yeah, I didn't play 4, so I'm only playing Horizon 5.
I played 4, and it was not as easy. Yes, it did give it to you, but not.
Yeah.
the drip of insanity that it did on this one.
Yeah, so Gran Turismo 7 is on the other end. They don't give you shit. And you have to grind your ass off to get a lot of cars. I got 92 cars versus 400 and probably 30 something cars on Forza. And I mean, everything you're doing, you're getting cars. They're giving you cars left and right. Which
I would say the thing was about Gran Turismo was the car progression was tied to the campaign progression. So by the time you get towards the end of the campaign, you would typically have the cars you wanted. Yeah. And you had races that you could use them in. It was equal.
That's another problem with Gran Turismo 7 is we're done with the campaign. We're struggling to find races that we want to do with our cars. Like, I'm not going and picking my Viper, which is my favorite car, and saying, all right, let me go do this race and that race and this race and that race, because they have all these stipulations that, oh, this Viper can't do that race, or I want to play this race. Oh, the Viper can't do that race.
The thing I noticed was, like, I got the rear-wheel drive car, and I went looking at it, almost half their races felt like they were front-wheel drive races. Like,
yeah. There's
you couldn't just pick a race at random and, like, it may work.
Yeah. So what we wanted was I can grab my Viper and then just say, what races are for this car? What races can this car go in right now?
A filter.
Yeah, it's like a filter. And that
qualified races.
They have it the opposite way, where I can go to a race and join that race and see, okay, what cars qualify for that race. And that's okay.
So let's use Forza as a comparison. On Forza, you could filter the map even and see races that the car can qualify for. Even if you need to change the tuning or remove parts or whatever, you could see it.
Yeah, but if you need to change the tuning, it's instant. It's quick. If you're not I understand that people who like to tune probably don't mind that.
Yeah.
But I'm not a tuner. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So I like to, like in Forza,
it's a hindrance if you don't like to do it.
Yeah.
It's one of the things that you used to be able to play Gran Turismo without having to have the knowledge of tuning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it became a hindrance. Like, it went full simulation.
Yeah. So if I want to play that race, for instance, we were trying to beat the K cars. That was our first race that he played for the in the cafe menu. Yeah. We played the K car race. So we went and bought us a K car, and I just Googled real quick because I don't really have any interest in K cars. So we Googled the best K car, which was the Honda I don't even know these cars.
22B something.
So we found that car, and we tried to get it up to the right performance point or performance power or whatever the PP is, whatever it stands for. And we couldn't do it. I mean, you must have spent 4. Yeah. I went to bed. This dude probably stayed. I think he stayed up till 3 a.m. just trying to beat one race. One race, just one. Just trying to get third. We ain't trying to get first. We're trying to get third. And I think I woke up and he's like, I did it. I got one. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, what did you do? All he did was add the turbocharger. What else did you do to that car?
Yeah, I had swapped parts in and out. I ended up dropping everything and slapping a turbo on it.
Yeah.
And
it worked. And it worked for one race. He stayed up late, so I woke up and I started playing it. And I tried to do, there's 2 more races, so I tried to do one of the races. Tried like 3 times, wasn't getting anywhere near third. So I was like, okay, this ain't happening. So I Googled how to tune a car for K cars. I found the Honda Beat, and so I just stole some dude's tune. This took me probably 45 minutes to an hour just to copy this guy's tune exactly, because I had to buy a new engine and a new body, because you can't just take things off when you modify the engine. You gotta buy a new engine.
I understood that. It took me a while to figure it out, but yes, I do understand why that happened.
I get it. It's kind of realistic.
It's supposed to be realistic, annoying.
Yeah, it's annoying to me because that doesn't happen.
It makes sense though, but I understand that's the situation.
For someone who's not a tuner,
it needs to explain why it's happening.
Well, I don't need that. I understand why it's happening, but it's still an annoyance.
To somebody that doesn't play, that doesn't understand cars, they would not understand why they couldn't.
Yeah,
do
but
that.
if they don't understand cars, they probably don't need to play in that game.
Well, I mean, when I was young, I didn't understand cars when I was playing. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It never actually explained why you couldn't undo the boring and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, but it's
I felt like that was an issue.
It just feels like the reason why they did it was not exactly good intentions. It was to drain more money from you.
Yeah.
Because they want you to buy that money. They want you to pay.
True.
So you got to pay more money.
You couldn't have spare engines. Like in a real car shop, if you was doing that, you would have spare engines. I never saw a situation.
Well, man, I'm not gonna compare it to that.
I'm just saying, like, if they want to do simulation, do simulation.
Yeah.
Why can't I have more than one engine and swap them?
In Forza,
you can even have more. You can have multiple.
Well,
engines
no,
in
Forza you just grab someone else's
No,
tune.
I'm
It's
saying,
like that.
If you want to swap, you can swap engine crates in Forza,
Well,
and you can swap back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely. But you have multiple tunes.
Yeah,
like I can have 10 tunes for one car with different engines, different everything, and you just grab that tune. And so, you want to race this same car? You want to race this in an off-road race? Just grab that tune, boom, you're racing in an off-road race. Oh, you want to race it in this race that requires some completely different tune, completely different mods? Yeah, just grab that tune. It's instant.
Yeah,
it's instant.
And I understand, but I'm saying the tune is also changing. Like if the engine was required,
absolutely.
it would change it. But like
I'm just comparing it to Gran Turismo.
That option.
That's
in
Gran Turismo's garbage.
I didn't see the option to swap an engine back and forth.
They don't have any of that shit.
Well, then you wouldn't. You get what I'm saying?
No.
You wouldn't be draining the money if you.
No, they'd probably make you pay for it. They'd probably make you pay for it. They pay to switch the engine.
They are making you because you have to repeat the engine.
Yeah, but
you got to throw away the old engine, even though.
Yeah, you just trash it.
You're trashing it. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing from it.
That's what I'm saying. So normally you would keep it and swap it back.
Yeah, garbage.
And that's what you're doing in Forza. You're swapping back and forth.
Yes. Well, you're not swapping back and forth. You in Forza, yeah.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I thought you said a Gran Turismo. You're just throwing it in the trash.
Throwing it in the trash. Like the engine had.
Because that ain't realistic.
They even track mileage on the car. So at 50 miles after the race, you're trashing the engine. That was good. Yeah. That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah. Because you,
or even less.
Because you did something wrong, right? You added the port polish.
Yeah, you polished it too much.
And that makes it
You made the engine too good.
Yeah, that makes it go over 1 horsepower. So, yes, they have the ballast and they have the power restriction thing.
The power restrictor and the ECU limiter, but still,
but I'm not.
The same.
Yeah, it's not the same to take it down and then. I think it makes the car worse.
I wouldn't say worse. It makes it revs differently. I don't know how to explain.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think it makes the car worse than it would if you just remove the port polish and then start all over and figure out what you need to do to get exactly that 400 PowerPoint or whatever the hell that PP stands for.
It performed differently.
So another thing you didn't like was something about the filters for the cars?
Yeah, or the filter...
or the structure of the cars. You wanted a classic.
Like, I remember on one of the older games, they used to have like the classic car dealership to where you could like go view the older model cars and stuff. Like they had them in the game. Like even if they didn't want to have them all available at it, they should have still had a certain selection. Yeah. The only thing they had available was like 8-9 cars in this like legend section. Yeah. That's not a classic car dealership.
Yeah, and typically when you're going for a classic car, I'm guessing a lot of times they're going to be in the used cars, and you're going to have to wait several days to get them. I'm talking about in the Gran Turismo 7.
Oh, I don't even know how that works.
Yeah. Well, a lot of times we would find those classic cars in the used car section. Sometimes they are in the Brand Central, whatever.
All the vehicles, as far as I understand, have a chance to be in the used car section for less money.
Yeah. I don't know. I just know they rotate it once a day.
Yeah, that once a day crap.
Yeah, I don't like that.
My understanding is they all have a chance to be in there. Yeah. But the design of it is like, I'm assuming like the limited edition vehicles will never show up. So like anything that's Gran Turismo labeled or, exotics and stuff. But my concern is like, if you wanted to go pick up like the classic Shelby Cobra, like, in real life, like they have the auto auctions, so there should be hundreds of cars flying in through this auto auction. Yeah, that's what I would feel like they were trying to simulate.
Yeah, and I want better filters for the cars when I'm searching for something. Yes, like how they have it in the what is it? Is it called the Brand Central? Whatever whatever the main dealership is, they have
in the old Gran Turismo 2. When you went to the Brand Central, like you you would pick your nation or whatever, and you would go and you could see all the brands, and then inside each brand had a used dealership. Like,
oh, is that? I don't even remember
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Each
That's
one,
a long time ago
yeah,
for
it was
me.
a long time ago. Well, I grinded on too, so
Yeah.
I remember that they had the used car dealership. So each one may have like 20 cars for them, like, or 10 cars.
Yeah.
And you could see, I believe you could see all the cars available, even if they weren't unlocked.
Yeah.
So that you would know what cars was in the game.
Well, now how it is they have it where you select your region, and then they just have the dealerships, which is fine. I like that.
Yeah.
But I would like more filters if I want to search for just all-wheel drive cars, or all electric cars, or all rear-wheel drive, or all cars at this performance points, or just anything. Cars from this year, or in between these year dates.
It's basically like
just more filters.
They expected you to know all the cars in the game, but they were just know about it. They wanted you to know all the history up front.
Yeah.
Like, you would say, oh, well, this is required for this race, but they were sort of vague on stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't care for that. I didn't even understand the vision stuff until you pointed it out.
Well, that
I was like, what are they even talking about?
No. They told that. No, don't hate on them on that. They said, I may have clicked through it too quick.
I remember reading it, but I didn't understand what. Like, when they first said the vision thing, I was thinking, like, this is a certain, like, a class of, like, a type of car, like,
so
like JDM. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, maybe it's some class of car.
We got to tell them what we're talking about first. So we're talking about the Vision G. Is it Vision GT? It's those cars that are basically hypothetical concept. They're like digital cars only. They're not real cars. Like the Jaguar Vision GT, all those cars, and that's the one we bought, the $1 million car that we bought.
And if you never played the game, you don't even know what we're talking about right now.
Yeah, but
that's how crazy that is.
Yeah, but they were super cool cars. Yeah, I liked them. It was between the Porsche and the Jaguar Vision GT cars, and we chose the Jaguar of all the ones that we looked at. But yeah, so it told us that those are completely digital cars. They're complete. They're fake. Yeah, they're just like what they would love to have.
So here's what it didn't. That's what it didn't tell us is who has them. Like, what we went to clicking on random dealerships. Yes. I did not know who had what, even if they had one.
That is a perfect example.
So we just went through and picked on random dealerships in a row, and we had to scroll down the line. It didn't even. At least they could have had a pop-up page where you can see all the cars at once.
Yeah.
You have to scroll through like Netflix style with 5 or 6 cars.
No, you filter for Vision GT cars, but they don't have that. So we missed Honda. We were when we actually started doing the race.
Yeah, when we started doing it, you saw all these cool cars. You're like, oh, I didn't even see that. What that?
Yeah. So we spent.
And then what irritated me is the little pop-up that Gran Turismo had that shows you the picture of the car that makes you more irritated because I really wanted to drive that.
Yeah. So, but the problem is that those cars are $1 million. So once you bought one, you can't sell it back. You can't make your money back. That car is yours forever. And if you don't want to grind another few hours,
they used to could sell the cars used. Like get like
people complain a lot about that.
I thought it was like 50% or no, I think it was 30% minimum or something that you could get. Like, the cars had different amounts you would get when you sold it, but there was a minimum amount you would get when you sold it. So it wasn't a complete loss, no matter what.
Yeah, so that's just a huge problem to me.
Yeah.
But, you know, my biggest issue, though, is you bought this. If you're buying the expensive cars, dude, I said you got to grind for a few hours. No, you're going to have to grind for several days to get $1 million to buy another Vision car if you didn't like that one.
Like, it was to the point that my first instinct was, and I hate doing this for video games. I hate going, Google search, quick, fast money making. That's what I felt like doing.
Yeah.
On Gran Turismo. What's the quickest way to make money?
I will admit I did do that on Forza Horizon 5, but they had a lot of easy ways to make money.
You can make money. You just on Forza though, you was making money at a decent rate to fix up your cars and progress through the story still. Yeah. It wasn't to the point where you was like, okay, I need like GameFAQs to go help me out because my money is not generating.
okay, so not that I want everything given to me. So I'll explain. So Forza was too far in that.
Yeah.
And we talked about this earlier, but again, Forza was too far in that direction, and they gave you like I remember when I first started, I wanted the new Corvette. Well, they gave that to you. That was the first car you got. Yeah. I wanted the new Toyota Supra. They gave that to you. That was one of the first cars you got.
I feel like Forza, they knew up front they were going to Game Pass, so they worked that into it. I think they were trying to get. They was like, you may not like a lot of cars. Maybe you had that 1 or 2 cars. We're gonna make sure you end up with that car, so you'll keep playing. And I think they geared too much towards Game Pass.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that's why they did it. But they have so many cars. Well, they're just like, here, take all these cars.
Well, coming from Forza 4 to 5, I played 2, 3, 4, and 5 on Horizon. Mm-hmm. I only played, I think, 2 of the motorsports. And I didn't play them too much now.
Yeah.
But the Horizons I did play, and I enjoyed them. And I enjoyed the big set scenes and stuff that you do for the chapters and stuff. They've stepped them up every year. I remember the Halo one. That was another big one. That was a really cool one.
Another issue that we have with the game is the music. It's like all the music is like elevator music.
Oh.
And now, not to say Forza Horizon 5, their music was amazing, but I did like some of it, at least.
Some of it was okay. Here's the thing about the mixing, the blending in and out, and the little radio conversations were a little too long. Like, I feel like they tried to imitate like Grand Theft Auto with like the commercials and cutscene type thing on the radio. But
no, in Forza?
Yeah, Forza.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Forza.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, if you play Grand Theft Auto, you get the little jokes and cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they did that a little too much.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying. But, I mean, it is what it is.
I like the way the music faded in. The way they did the music on there was so good that the problem was I couldn't use my own music. I wanted Spotify to work with this. Like, it could pick up a Spotify track and blend it in.
No.
That would have been amazing.
I mean, yeah, that's cool. But it seems like a lot of work.
Well, I'm just saying. It didn't have to be Spotify, but I'm making a point.
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool if I could have my own personal selection of tracks that it could blend in just like it. Because if I play my own music, then it wouldn't blend or it wouldn't lower at certain points and stuff.
And that was a good thing with Forza is at certain points they'd raise it and lower it and it worked. Yeah. Like, I liked it.
That blending and all them type of effects that added to it.
And I didn't want to listen to my own music because I'd miss out. I liked how it worked.
I liked how it worked. It was a feature. They made the music a feature. In this game, they I guess they didn't want to pay for copyright or something, so they made this like music that's supposed to be relaxing and soothing. Yeah. Okay, that's cool when you're driving for endurance on an hour race. You don't want no jamming music that's banging in your head, but it was like opera music almost. It was going in that direction.
They have some songs that are okay, but and you can go in and stop songs that you don't like. You can delete them all, or they don't ever play.
You can control the playlist somewhat.
But it's just there's not a lot that I like. Yeah, I just don't like any of it. But some of the good things that we like about the game, we'll just talk about the PS5 controller. So obviously, PS5 controller is the best controller for consoles. It's
in general. I think that's one of the best controllers been produced
ever.
Sony is always top notch on controllers. I give them that.
Yeah. So
this one,
Xbox, I feel like Xbox from Xbox One did nothing to their controller to Xbox Series X.
I feel like they made it work. I'm sorry. The original Duke was one of my favorite controllers.
No, that's one of most people's hated controllers.
A lot of people hate the Duke, but I did like. But
we ain't gonna talk about that.
I know, but that's another.
But going from Xbox One to Xbox Series X, I'm playing games on the Xbox controller, and this controller is vibrating. I'm like, whoa, what? That's jarring. That doesn't even work with the game. Like, I don't understand it. But the PlayStation 5 controller for Gran Turismo 7. The way that when you're pressing the gas and it has like some force feedback where it's harder to press. You could turn that off, and we did turn the accelerator off because you're playing
your finger tired after a couple hours.
You're playing the game for hours. That hurts your finger.
It's too much tension on it.
Yeah,
I feel like you should.
No, you can lighten it. You can make it weak.
You can make it weak, but I feel like you couldn't get it right.
No, I just didn't want it at all. I liked it at first. You're playing for hours. You're holding that thing down for hours. My finger was just hurting, no matter how I had it. So I did have to turn that off. I liked it though. It's not a complaint.
I liked it. It worked. I feel like it added more tension to it, and you felt like you was more connected to the car. I will agree with that.
Yeah, and in the brakes we left on, where it would force feedback on the brake, like I like that.
The shifting, I like the little click that you would feel that jerk whenever it shifted.
Even when you run over,
on the road.
When you run over the joints in a road, the controller vibrates every time you hit the joint. It's so cool. And then all the noise that comes out, there's a little speaker on the controller, and like the finish or the start line, ding ding ding, would go on the controller. Yeah. Clapping would go on the controller. Booing would go on the controller.
Yes.
A lot of stuff would happen through that controller, and I like that. That was cool.
I like the little extra effects. What was the sound that we kept? The Gran Turismo chime sound. Their little sound effect. Yeah. We kept hearing, and you kept looking around.
I couldn't find out. Where is this coming from? Oh, it's the controller.
That cracked me up.
Yeah. So, the controller is definitely and that's Sony right there. But I'm glad that Gran Turismo 7 took advantage of it because a lot of Sony games don't. Which is another good thing we like about Gran Turismo is the graphics. Those graphics. And Forza too. Forza's got great graphics too. They both got them good.
I would honestly say if I had to compare the two and say which graphics were better, I would say Gran Turismo.
Yeah, the photo editor in Gran Turismo is, dude, some of those photos.
The photorealistic cars, I love them.
The way they did it, where they have a real background picture, real scenery, and then the car on top of it, the in-game car on top of it. Some of the lighting that some people can do, how they change it, it looks so real. You can't tell the difference. Forza has a great editor too. Yeah, but it's not as good. But it's only like barely, slightly not as good. I mean, they're really close.
They're really close as far as the photo editing. Yeah, but the graphics made the photo pop out better. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
As far as the comparison of the system, I think they're about what and what. Yeah, but the way. Because of the graphics and the design of it and the approach of the game, it made it better. Yeah. And the ability to even upload your own photo into it, and it still made. I saw pictures that looked like they were straight from like calendars and stuff like that. That one blew my mind because the idea that you can make the calendar photo, and I still got a picture of a calendar on my wall from 20 years ago. Yeah. Of like a Bel Air.
How much time they put into the replays on Gran Turismo? That's cool.
The replay has been the central of Gran Turismo since the very first one. Yeah. They even the idea behind it and how they managed to work around because the original PlayStation could not handle the replay that they were trying to do. Yeah. So they actually did workarounds. Like when cars came around the corner, they actually dropped them out of memory and stuff. Like in order just to get it to work.
But now though, it is great. It's amazing. Yeah. I really enjoy it, but I don't look at replays a lot. We had one replay we looked at where his Vision car, his Jaguar...
It goes up a slight hill and it's coming down, and that thing goes airborne.
Yeah, the whole front end flies up as it's coming down this hill.
It looks like some Grand Theft Auto 3 type graphics.
Yeah, so like while we're playing it, we're like, dude, the hill was like this. Not like this. It was like this, and that car was. It didn't seem realistic.
It didn't seem realistic. The only reason I can't trip and say it's unrealistic because I know it happened before in real life, but
not with that slight hill. Not that slight hill.
Because of the aerodynamics on an actual race car from Le Mans, it did go airborne.
Oh, well, just like that. Super slight hill though.
Yeah, it was super slight, and I think it was Mercedes. It went airborne going straight.
Yeah.
And it caught air. But I have to look that up to make sure. Yeah, but I think it was Mercedes.
But we watched that's the only replay we watched. I'm not gonna sit there and spend.
I will say, I watched a lot of replays. The way they implemented the replays is annoying. I'm tired. It's like clicking through a gotcha game. Click XX, retry this, that. It's like 5-6 steps to get out of it. Just show me how much money I made and let me go. It was like. It should be 2 clicks at the end of a race.
Yeah, but I think
it should be what I got. Move on.
Yeah, maybe.
But in the original game, they would show the replay as soon as the race over. They started the replay. It would fade into it, and you would see the replay happen in the background as you're viewing your money coming in and stuff. And if you want to continue watching the replay, you could click to continue watching, and then you would just move right into the replay, or you could click exit.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with it just because it's quick, right?
It's quick because the PlayStation's fast, but it's still a lag time. It's more of a lag. It's almost like a loading screen. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
Clicking it.
I didn't have an issue with it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, after doing that key car race like 500 times.
Yeah, key cars, whatever they are, KEI. So overall, I mean, the game is good. I like the game. Is it worth $70?
Oh hell!
I'm not sure that it is.
Here's my problem. If you're gonna charge more for a game, you should give me at least what I expect. And coming from Gran Turismo 3 and 4, that was not satisfactory.
Did you play Gran Turismo Sport?
No, I didn't. That was the one I stopped on. That was the one I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Gran Turismo Sport was a half a game. It was.
No, because Gran Turismo Sport's big in the sim racing scene.
Well,
I've seen a lot because I was about to get sim racing.
That's
stuff.
the first one that came out like around 4 or 5, right?
Gran Turismo 7 is the last Gran Turismo. It's before Gran Turismo 7.
Oh, it was before.
Gran Turismo Sport is the last Gran Turismo.
There was one before that one, didn't there?
Yeah.
That was like a partial game or something. That's where I was like, okay, y'all got it. But they didn't even have a full car selection.
Because Gran Turismo Sport's on the PC as well. You can play it on the PC. Okay. And so people do it for sim racing. It's pretty good. It's pretty legit. It's a great game, but it's a great game. I think it could have been better.
I feel
a lot better.
They were concentrating on getting the cars right and getting the graphics right that they forgot to make a game out of it.
Yeah, I need more content.
Content. It was starved for content. Like it felt like they were gonna try to do DLCs of content. That's what I felt like. I want more races that I want to do that give me rewards that I want. Not 10,000 credits. Like, well, I'm gonna spend 10, 15 minutes. I feel like
hold up. I'm gonna spend an hour tuning a car to get it right, because that's how we did. It took us over an hour some of these tunes because we're not tuners.
Yeah,
and we can't.
I had to figure out the tuning system because it wasn't straightforward at all. Like some of the other racing games I played. Yeah,
so we're spending an hour tuning these cars, and I'm talking like total tuning. Like we race, and okay, let's change it up a little bit. So I'm talking about
because it wasn't miles per hour. That slowed me down too. God, that slowed me down.
Yeah, so because it shows.
I had to convert the metric in American.
Yeah, because when you're changing the gear ratios, it's in kilometers per hour and not miles per hour. Even though we have everything in the game.
I'm glad they gave the speed the ideal shoot point. Because normally most racing games don't give that.
Yeah, I mean their tuning is fine.
It was accessible, but at the same time, because they didn't change the miles per hour, it slowed me down more than it helped me.
We had to convert it each time.
Because I was trying to be lazy and use it, but mentally, but then I had to just stop using it and just go on instinct again. Yeah. I ended up giving up on it, so it didn't help at all.
Yeah.
Because I don't use metric because we're American here.
We like the game, but there's just a lot of problems with the game.
Yeah. I feel like they barely checked off the boxes on what it takes to be a Gran Turismo game.
Yeah.
They didn't complete it. They got like a 70 on it, and they were like, we're rushing to get it out. Yep. That's what I felt.
So out of 10, what are you gonna give the game?
I love Gran Turismo a lot, but it failed me. So
I
gotta give it a 7.
A 7 out of 10. That's pretty high though.
But that's max.
That's pretty high.
I'm thinking about a 5, honestly.
No, you just say.
I want to give it a 7, but I have to be honest with you. After comparing it to other games, even in comparing it to the last Need for Speed game, it's lowering it now.
What about Forza? What you think Forza Horizon 5? What you give it? Even though you ain't even play it that much.
I have to say it's about 8, 9. It's about a 9.
Yeah, I give Forza Horizon 5 an 8 or 9.
There's a lot of stuff I don't like about Forza, but it would bring down about an 8 altogether. Yeah, because they could have done better on that one. The game is great, but because all the stuff I look at and I say they could have done better, it makes me lower it.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I think I'll give Gran Turismo 7. It's a tough rating because I don't want to score it too low, but I'll probably give it like a 6.5 out of 10. There's just so much that I find wrong with it, and it's not gonna get me. I'm not gonna get 100 hours out of it, me personally.
I'm not gonna get my money's worth out of
Yeah.
Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah.
That's my upset about it.
I need to look and see how much time I've spent in that game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna guess it's in the 40s hours range, or maybe even less.
I would say
But
less.
and that's after we spent like 12 hours last
Yeah.
night.
I grinded
Yeah.
on it. I mean, so basically I even got a game and a half out of it. 2 people's uses
Yeah.
out of it, and it's still I don't think you get your money's worth out of it.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. So that's our rating. That's the
That's
video
it.
right there.